Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Can we just talk today? So, like I've said before, I didn't really grow up with a lot of confidence. I have built it over time, the woman that I am today. I was raised by a single mom. Love you, mom. She did the best she could, and it absolutely worked. And I also wanted to become successful in my life. I wanted to become a registered nurse, and I did that. I even passed my state exam, the NCLEX, in the least amount of questions. Once I became a registered nurse and married, doing that life, I became a mom and I got super passionate in passive income and generational wealth. And now I also own and manage real estate. And guys, I just want to have a conversation because sometimes it doesn't all happen at once, but all you need to do is get one thing in mind. What is the first thing that you want to accomplish? And thinking back to my 19-year-old self, I had not done any of those things yet. I didn't have that confidence that I have now, but I still was able to get started. And then as a result, I got all the things that I desire. And I truly want that for you too, because you get to be a better person. You get to show up better for others, and you get to just live the life of your dreams. We're only here for a short amount of time. So, getting back to my 19-year-old self before all of those things became real to me, this is what I thought about. At the end of the day, I have got to get mine. I've got to pursue my dreams, and I've got to essentially focus on myself. If being raised by a single mom teaches you nothing else, it teaches you that, honey, no matter what, you can make it. You are going to make it. Once you come on the other side of that, you can build yourself up in this area or that area. But what you learn from that, or what I've definitely learned from that experience, if you've been someone that's been raised by a single parent at any point in time, is you're able to witness firsthand how to get things done. You become super creative, which is an invaluable asset that you're going to need for the rest of your life. And especially if you want to make it in this world, it's not about following this straight path or this straight path. Once you reach certain levels of success, whether it be within yourself, your community, or within your money, it's all about creativity. And what I have benefited the most from my childhood was creative, because if my mom was anything, she was definitely creative, and that has served me well in my life. It has served me well whenever you hear, or just like the notion of can't do this because of this, or this isn't going to work, or they say this, like, sometimes whenever, like, I thinking about growing up, you don't even have all that time to doubt. There is no time to doubt. There is no time to come up with an excuse. It is literally go. This is me. This is what I'm trying to get done. And that can change from day to day. It's going to look different for everybody, but that has helped me in my adult life because I'm not easily um, told no. If somebody says no, I understand that that particular person at this particular time is saying no. And I think that's made me resilient. And so if that brings me to my next point, you've got to be resilient. And you don't have to recreate that experience per se. I don't want to perpetuate that to create that same level of experience. My mom, if she were here, definitely would not want to perpetuate that same experience that I had growing up. But if anything, you can still, and this is what we did in nursing school. You have your books, you have your class, you have your plan of what you're going to do. But we would also, along with those books and tests and exams and quizzes and all that, we had what was called skills lab, where you're practicing on a dummy. It's all simulated. The dummy, I think, can even talk. We could stick it with IVs, could take pressure, all the things. It was all simulated. There's not a real person getting hurt, but you get to take everything that you've learned and then practice it in a simulation, preparing you for real life. And so, though I wouldn't want to perpetuate that same childhood experience onto my children, I think it's an invaluable asset. That's why I even homeschool my kids, okay? Like, not to say we'll do this forever. I know that their life will look different at some point, but I'm extremely passionate about simulation. You don't have to experience the same thing to be able to extract the jewels from it. It's kind of like, think about what is so popular right now, or like what's getting a diffuser and what is it called? Okay, think about this. Vanilla extract or essential oils. What do? They extracted the strongest, best fragrance, fragrance out of that scent plant. treat, whatever, so that you can get the most. And you can go and get all fancy or whatever and like have the pure and organic, whatever. But essentially, when you talk about vanilla extract, you don't have the plant anymore. You didn't you don't have the plant that you're putting in your cake to make a vanilla flavored cake. You've got the extract. You don't have to simulate that same experience to understand that resiliency is super important. Being creative, extremely important. Figure out ways to build yourself up, leaning on those experiences that you were told you could not do something. Remind yourself, think back, reflect on every time somebody told you could not do something, or you couldn't get this done, or this was closing, or whatever the case may be, and think about every time you became creative. That's what you're going to have to tap into to get those things that you want. And as you do that, as you use your creativity, you're going to become more resilient, and the end result is you will be more confident. When you're more confident, you can tack on new goals and get those accomplished. Let's talk about being let's go into being creative for a moment. When you're creative, you come up with new. You're like an innovator. So that's essential to growth. That's essential to getting the things you want out of life, to getting the things you want out of yourself. You don't shut off your brain. You're constantly looking for an answer. And that's exactly what you have to do. When it comes to being resilient, that brings me into the mindset of overcoming or bouncing back, recovering from challenges or setbacks. And there was something that I was studying recently that talked about not only recovering and getting back to your baseline, but surpassing your baseline. And that's essentially what I've been able to do step by step, becoming more creative, my resilience, increased confidence. Now there's another part of that which goes into where not only you get back to your baseline, you surpass your baseline. You're able to access all those things that you want. And I talk about my experiences and the things that I have. And I have new goals for sure. My goal right now is to upload a video every day from now to the end of July. I've got information to share. That is what I'm most passionate about. And when you're in your space, like you just go. And so that's what I'm doing. I've got new goals, right? But I've accomplished some things that I can share, that I can give and pour into somebody else, as well as reach my new goals. And I'm only able to reach for the things I have not yet obtained because of those past experiences. Like I said, when I was 19, I had not yet become a registered nurse. I had not yet passed my exam with flying colors. I had not yet become married. I'd never experienced or witnessed a marriage firsthand. I hadn't been a mom yet. I hadn't purchased real estate or managed properties yet. But at 19, I drew back from all those challenges. So we all have them. We all have an experience, whether it be in elementary school, in our home life, in a project that you were building for school, or whatever the case may be. Lean back on those experiences to where you thought you were going to make it, or where you were extremely scared. And how did you come out of that? Remind yourself of that, because you've got something that nobody can take away from you. That is your ability to be resilient, to become creative, and whether you know it or not, you already have confidence. There's already been so many things that maybe you thought you couldn't do, or that you had no choice but to do, and you did them anyways. You just need to write them down and remind yourself. And that reminds me, honestly, my next level of things that I unlocked for is real estate, because I became a nurse, and I did that successfully, and I was already married, and then I had new goals to homeschool my kids, but I wasn't there in that transition yet to be able to homeschool my kids. Honestly, what I had to do was I got a journal and I started writing down who I was. I started seeing that girl on paper, not things that I had experienced at a time in my life, and like memories, they fade to the back until you pull them up. I wrote them down. What did I do at 5? How did I feel when I walked into that classroom? How did I feel when I was doing this in school? How did I feel when I did this pep rally or performance? How did I feel when I applied to school? How did I feel when I applied to my first job? Did I feel confident? No. What did I do? And how did the outcome turn out? Remind yourself of who you are, and all those times where you maybe didn't see a way, you didn't have the answers, you didn't even know what the outcome would truly come out to be, but you did it anyways. And that's what you need to remember about yourself. That's what gets you all those next things. Like, honestly, you've got every single thing that you need already. It's just unlocking the belief in yourself. And a lot of times you just need to write it down. There are so many experiences that you've overcome that have created you into the person that you are today. And had you asked your 5-year-old self if you could have done what you've done or lived through, Likely not. Like if I was 5, I'd be like terrified. Like go and or perform or make A's or whatever the case may be. Or if I was 10 or 12 or 16, no, absolutely not. I wouldn't have believed that. But guess what? Regardless, at some point, there's a lot of things you do that you didn't really have a choice in, and you survived and you lived through them and you did them. So that's the same thing, same method that you have to apply to those new things, whether that be the person you want to be, how you want to show up in your day every day, what new skill you want to learn, what car do you want to drive, where do you want to travel to, do you want to make friends, do you want to start an organization, whatever the case may be, you can certainly do it. You are that person. You are that girl. You have every single thing that you need. And I am here cheering you on. Cheers to your success because you're literally already on your way. Don't forget to visit my website, notanotherperfectmom.com. If you're interested in a complimentary consultation, scroll way down to the bottom of the website and I will be talking to you soon. So until next time, thank you so much for watching. Bye.